Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and I needed to make a little video here on GameStop losing $488 million in the third quarter. That was just in one quarter of the year. That was a huge loss, and they reported that on November 3rd. Now, of course, you know, you've got Black Friday, so that doesn't count Black Friday. I'm sure they made some good sales. You know, I didn't buy any current games for the Switch or anything from them. The one thing that I did buy from them, believe it or not, is I bought, they had the buy 2 get 1 free on the retro games. So, you know, I've been starting to collect the NES games. So, I'll do some reviews on them in the future. I've got Mick Kids here. Some people might not know this game, but if you're a fan of the AVGN, finally going to play that game for the first time, and I'm looking forward to it. I've got Zelda 2 here, and I've got Castlevania Simon's Quest. So, 3 great games there, and this one actually ended up being free. This was a $10 game, and I got that one for free. So, you know, there's my GameStop pickups for Black Friday. I gave them a little bit of revenue, and they do make most of their revenue off of used games. So, you know, I do like GameStop. They do have a very fair amount of retro games, and I have picked up quite a few NES games from their site. As well as NES games, as you can see right here. This is actually my first experience buying NES games, and I'm pretty pleased that these games are in pretty good condition. These 2 started, having a little trouble starting this one up. I'm probably going to have to do a little bit of cleaning on it. Anyway, the thing is, GameStop has lost a lot of money. That's probably the biggest loss they've ever had. They've had some bad periods in the past, but this seems pretty terrible. And if you ask me if you want my analysis of it, you know, you're going to be talking to somebody who's worked in retail before, and I will tell you, retail is on its way out. There's only a few retailers that still get it, that are evolving with the times, that are going to be around for some time to come. That's Target, that's Walmart. Everybody else is going to be left out in the cold pretty much. Amazon is dominating, and you know, they've really affirmed a great hold on the market when it comes to retail. You know, you look on Amazon, and they've just obliterated the gaming market. You know, most people order games from Amazon. You get Amazon Prime, you could actually, you know, get the game, you know, the day it comes out. They have same day shipping, you know, or you can get it within 2 days if you don't need it right away. Whatever the case may be. And sometimes you get special pricing, you get a lot of different things. They do pre-orders, whatever it is. Amazon is a great place to buy games. It's a great option to buy games. Are there cheaper options than Amazon? Yeah, there is. You know, sometimes Amazon isn't really the cheapest it used to be, but you know, there's places like eBay, you could, but a lot of people, they trust Amazon. It's a trusted name. People have Amazon Prime. There's loyalty towards them. You know, they've got a good return policy. You know, you feel safe shopping with Amazon. So, and when it comes to GameStop, a lot of people don't feel very comfortable shopping there at all. If you go here on YouTube, you will see that there is actually quite a few people that don't like GameStop, and they've had bad experiences. You've got a lot of disgruntled employees from the past. Guys, #1 person responds to comments all the time. I want to tell you, subscribe to Back Pocket Game Reviews. He's a former GameStop employee. He will tell you the horror stories, and he's not even really that disgruntled. He will actually admit, he has a video actually saying what were some great points of working there, but he will tell you the horror stories, and there's a lot of other people on here that tell you the horror stories as well as there. They don't treat their employees very well. They treat them like shit. They don't pay them very well. They expect a lot from them. They don't treat their part-timers very well. They don't give them any hours. It's pretty fucking terrible, you know. But you want to talk about, how about the actual store of GameStop? How is it? It's like, you know, first of all, you can find most of those games for cheaper prices, and they've been caught up in so many weird things. I'll never forget, like, everybody likes to talk about the trade-in thing. Also, you know, about the value that they give you. You know, you trade in a new game, you know, you're going to get $35. You know, the thing is, people need to really understand about that, where I've never really, you might ask yourself, why I haven't ever done a rant on that. You know, I did a rant many years ago. It was one of my first videos on YouTube during my first year, where I ranted on the GameStop packaging.
I just bought this today. Now this is a new game. This is what's inside. As you can see, that's the game, and it's inside a little paper envelope there, like it's a bootleg or something.
I talked about how I bought a brand spanking new game, and somehow, some way, it was open, you know, and many people have talked about that on here. So if you want to see that old rant, you can definitely check that one out. I'd appreciate it. A little bit of old school Brad rules for you if you're in the mood for that. It's still a, you know, I didn't really like my presentation so much. You know, I didn't really have as much confidence on camera back then. Still a pretty good video, and I think I got my point across. And I think you might enjoy, you know, going back and seeing me from, when was that video? Like a good, fucking 9 years ago, believe it or not. You know, but that's one thing. But, you know, the trade-in credit, it's like, you gotta understand, it's kind of like when people watch Pawn Stars, they always say, oh, Rick is low-bowling them. You know, the thing is, he's gotta make a profit. It's the same thing with GameStop. They gotta make a profit. They're not there as good Samaritans. GameStop is not a charity. They're a business. So I never really understood why people get so up in arms. If, you know, you find that to be so stunning, you should look at what people make in a sale on eBay or on Amazon. You know, they're gonna take a large cut out of it no matter what. That's just how it is. You're dealing with big companies, big corporations. They are going to expect a big profit. They are not there to make you money. They're there to make them money. If they have to give you a little something to make money, they will, and they do. And people still do it despite complaining about it, because there's not a lot of options. There's not a lot of games anymore. It's the game stores anymore, right? And, you know, my memories, it's like I used to just exclusively shop there. You know, the thing is, before I got online and everything and had a credit card and a debit card to use, you know, I would just pretty much exclusively shop at GameStop, or, you know, back in the day when it was, we had Funkoland and Electronics Boutique and a host of others. You know, you had EB Games, and there was all these different, there was Game Crazy, which was also another underrated one. Great place to get retro games, by the way. When those all just completely, like, I know that EB is still out there in certain states, but it's scarce. You know, it was kind of like the only way to go. But, you know, as you see, with all these retailers toppling over, remember when Toys R Us used to be the #1 place to get video games. Place isn't around anymore. You know, you're clearly seeing that this is just a sign of the times. I don't really think it's as much to do with GameStop's business practices, a lot of people are saying. You know, people say, oh, it's because the way they treat their employees. Oh, it's like, and the thing is, people still want to talk about the refund policy. It's like, I'm sorry, but I even heard Proto Mario, one of my favorite YouTubers, talk about this. And I think it's maybe because he hasn't held a retail job before. Now, I've never worked the returns line. I've never worked the customer service line in retail. I always worked out on the floor. But I will tell you this. Every company has a return policy. They will not take open video games at Target. They won't take them at Best Buy. They won't take them at Walmart. So why would they take them at GameStop, which is a game store? Apparently, it's supposed to be like, hey, they'll, it's GameStop. They're supposed to be held to a different standard because, listen, it's just, they like to hate on GameStop. It's a trend here. Not saying that they don't deserve it. They do treat their employees like shit. But, at the end of the day, you kind of have to realize that, a lot of companies are like this. A lot of companies underpay their employees. A lot of them do shady business practices that you might not know about. It's because it's GameStop. And YouTube is flooded with gaming content. And who sells games? GameStop. So, of course, they're going to be the #1 topic here on YouTube. And that's why they're always going to be vilified most of the time. And notice what I'm saying? I'm not saying that they are vilified, but don't make like all these losses is just because of their poor business practices. It's like, how are they supposed to evolve? They're doing everything they can. They're selling more, toys and collectibles, and, they're selling, retro games and stuff. So, probably the one thing that they could do is maybe fix their pricing, maybe drop their prices a little bit. Proto Mario had a good example, even though he had a bad example, talking about how they should have just taken the game back so that guy wouldn't have destroyed the Fallout 76 thing. Now, he didn't say that it was deserved, that his actions were warranted, but he was saying that they could have avoided that just by taking the game back. Even though, I know he's not blaming it on the employee, he's blaming it on the company mostly, but that's how companies are. Every company has the same return policy on video games. They're not going to take it back if it's opened up. Okay? So we need to move past that already, because that's very evident, and that's pretty much set in stone. That's pretty much held by all retail companies and stores, no matter what it is. Okay? It would be the same thing on Amazon. I don't think you'd be able to return the game if it was opened. I'm pretty sure it doesn't say that anywhere. Now, he did say, like, they showed a game that he bought. It was for the Wii. It was like some redneck game, and they showed that they were charging $18 for it at one time. The thing is, I've seen sometimes where they'll sell a used game. That it's a new used game, and it's $54.99 as opposed to it being $59.99 plus tax. That's really stupid. Why that game can't be $45? And I will always see those copies just sitting on the shelf, and nobody's gonna buy them because you might as well buy it new. What are you gonna buy it for that price? No one's gonna do that. And then I remember sometimes I'd walk in and I would see a game that was actually more expensive used than it was new. And all these things I'm saying right here, they've been said before on YouTube before you even say it. I know that. I'm just saying it's really fucking hilarious. It's like they have a lot of stupid things that they do that haven't been corrected over the years. But people just, it's a lot of gripes. It's a lot of personal dislikes and stuff. You could go on all day. Oh, they throw out the DS cases. And and oh, they sell open games. And people still shop there. Basically, let's all just sum it up. It's the death of retail stores. That's basically it. Sears was a victim. Macy's was a victim. Toys R Us was the ultimate victim. They've already closed all their stores. So, GameStop is next in line. And, it's going to be like that for all of them. Pretty soon, all of them will fall by the wayside. They're all going to be dropping like flies. That's just how it is. Online is way too powerful. It's too powerful of a medium. There's nothing like just sitting there on your ass and ordering it, or being on your phone and ordering it. It takes a lot of stress having to go to the stores, deal with all the assholes at the store, waiting in line, waiting for slow cashiers. you know, waiting for, you know, people with 1,000 coupons and questions and put that in a separate bag, and, you know, people don't want to deal with that, especially during the holidays. So that's probably what. Now I think they'll do a little bit better. GameStop, you know, being that it's the holiday season and all, but you know, look for them to probably try to sell. It doesn't look like anybody's really interested in buying them, because like I said, it is kind of just like a dying brand, so I don't really see that happening. But what I think will happen, I think they will be bought, probably their name or something or whatever, and it'll probably end up going into Amazon or something, you know, because like GameStop does run a pretty good online gig, you know. Like I said, you could get all these retro games there and everything at pretty fair prices that are pretty comparable to a lot of stuff on eBay and Amazon. So that's what I think about it. It's just another victim, and you know, I don't really think it has a lot to do about all the same shit they've been doing for years and years, because they were doing just fine even when they were pulling that crap. It's just that now with people having, you know, access to the internet, Amazon has added all these perks, all these great shipping options and stuff like that. There's really no reason to go to GameStop anymore, and people are realizing that. And that's really the primary reason why, in my opinion. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit a thumbs up. If you didn't, hit a thumbs down and tell me why. Click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. Check out some of the other content I have posted here. And thank you for watching, guys. Until next time.